Hey everybody, it's me, Remy, the comic book poser, and I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. It's time for me to give you my top 6 books from last week's New Comic Book Day after this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Alright, before we get to my top 6, it's time for an update on my March to 500. As of recording this video, I am 29 subscribers away from hitting 500 for the big giveaway, and currently to this point, 5 people have successfully escaped the Poserverse. You got plenty of time to still enter, and I know that a number of you have gone through and at least watched some of the other folks' videos and commented, because I've gotten a lot of people like, oh, thanks. People have been shouting me out. So keep on entering, get some people to like, subscribe, and I'll unveil some more goodies to be given away when we hit 500 on this Thursday night's live stream. Coming in at number 6, I couldn't really pick one of these, and it's the first time in a while that any X-Men book has made my top picks of the week. So this was the first week that we've had multiple tie-ins to the Ten of Swords event, and this week we had Wolverine, Marauders, and X-Force. And I really liked all 3 of them. That in Wolverine and X-Force, you start to see Wolverine's quest to get the blade that he needs to be able to enter the Contest of Champions. I really liked Marauders, number 13, that focuses on the pathway of Storm or Oro to get the blade that she needs to be able to enter the contest, and kind of watching how the Krakoans are having to use all of their different interactions with friends, family, allies, anybody across the past, as we're building to see these different armies coming together to fight. It's getting really, really interesting, and I'm really excited for the next 3 books to come in this week. For our next 3 chapters of the Ten of Swords event. Coming in at number 5, from IDW, is Transformers Back to the Future number 1. I never really thought I would love Transformers books as much as I do, but I'm into reading the old Transformer G.I. Joe right now. We already know how much I love My Little Pony Transformers, and I'm sad that I didn't get my copy of number 3 this week. But we get the crossover between my favorite toy when I was a child and one of my favorite films in Back to the Future, and I'm intrigued by the setup of this, because you'll notice this is, a swipe from the opening, one of the opening scenes in Back to the Future number 1, where we see the Libyans chasing the DeLorean over the plutonium that was stolen from them. And we learned that the Decepticons are scouting out Hill Valley to look for something to help them take down the Autobots, and apparently time travel is the thing that will help them do it. This book is got kind of the absurd dad joke humor of a Back to the Future kind of storyline. It's got the weird action of the Transformers, and I liked every second of it, and I think it's only a 5-issue series, so we'll see if I like number 2 as much as I do the first one. From Boom Studios, We Only Find Them When They're Dead, number 2, by Al Ewing and Simone DeMeo. We kind of learned in the end of book 1 that the captain of one of the salvage ships, the junk ships, is wanting to look for a living god, and this book really kind of focuses on the entirety of that voyage and him getting his crew to go along with it. And we learn that kind of someone is chasing him into the void, and I can't go more beyond that because I think it will kind of spoil what happens. But I will say that DeMeo's art in this issue is fantastic, as we kind of look at the notion of the chase throughout space between these 2 ships. That I think it's fantastic, and it's building. I really enjoyed issue number 1 of this book. I'm interested to go back and see what the sales numbers look like on book number 2, to see if it matched kind of the intensity of the first one, but I'm on board for as long as this one exists. Coming in at number 3, from DC, we got another big 2 creeping into my top picks, which is not all that often. It's American Vampire 1976 by Scott Snyder with art by Raphael Albuquerque. And essentially this is what it seems right from the title. It's a vampire tale. We have the primary vampire who's being sucked in to deal with something, and it's evident that both the woman who is seeking his help and the reveal at the end are 2 items from his past. I kind of like the sepia. No, is that the right filter? No. But like just the overall brown feeling to some of the art early in this book. There's a Snickers ad that I hate so much. Right, we see some jump through time where we get Disco DJ Vampire, and I just kind of like the setup from this. And maybe this is an older series and I'm, missing out on something from the past, and I very well could be, because I think that might enrich some of the stuff that's happening in the last couple of pages. It feels like I'm missing out probably on a prior arc, and let me know in the comments down below if I am. But it doesn't feel like I'm fully lost or left behind in what's happening in this story. So the art's cool, the setup for the heist event that's going to happen in this is pretty cool, and I really like, that this is a Bonnie and Clyde homage cover on the variant, that I think it fits very well with the events that are about to unfold in the book. Coming in at number 2, from Dark Horse, is Spy Island number 2 by Chelsea Kane, Leah Maternique, and I don't remember the first names of everybody else, but you see them there. I loved the first one in terms of the setup of this. It takes a quick turn into more of a horror mystery style book throughout number 2, because we learn more about the threat of the mermaids that just kind of appear to be more menacing at the end of the first book, and we get a little bit of the story of what's going on in the land of the mermaids in this book. I really like this 2-page title reveal where you can see the blood in the water spelling out Spy Island. I think that's really, really cool. But this kind of focuses on, the 2 sisters getting back together during the every Monday call to the Kraken. I like, the use of, like, the photorealistic art, here are pictures of things that were found in a purse. I love, as we're looking at the Monday Call of the Kraken festival. But I really like a book that comes with a drink menu that we'll see. I'm not making the mermaid one, but maybe we'll see if I can make a Flight 19. Or I like the Chardonnay Garden, a 50 ounces of Chardonnay topped by a healthy fruit salad. I like the tongue-in-cheek elements that are sprinkled throughout the book, which is one of the reasons why I really, really loved Man-Eaters, because you see the same kind of phenomenon. But this reveal of what happens in terms of the knowledge we get from the Kraken Festival is quite interesting to me. My pick of the week was an easy one. When issue number 1 came out a month ago, it was head and shoulders above the rest of the crowd for me, and they do it again in book number 2. Coming in at my pick of the week from last week, from Aftershock, is Lonely Receiver number 2 by Zach Thompson, Jen Hickman, and Simon Rowland. We learned that, the being that is attached to the phone kind of disappears throughout book 1, and it really takes kind of a big emotional toll on our main character, and we see that kind of happen throughout the art in the first several pages. But what is really interesting to me is this process that they go through to test the connection between the woman and the device, and then there's an assessment that the device is not necessarily the problem, that it's her, So she has to go deal with the Department of Sudden Disconnections. And it's an interesting, deep dive into more of her personality and psyche as she is trying to connect with Rion. The art throughout this book is also awesome. I can't show some of it because there's some nudity in the book and it's spaced out enough that it's hard to show. And I really want to show what some of the last couple of panels look like, but I really feel like it spoils something. But I'll just kind of flip it like this so you can see how it goes to this, trippy fluorescent nightclub vibe from, the sad and depressed panel feeling that we had earlier. But I think this story is awesome. It's a great commentary on our connection to technology, not just at a personal social level, but also looking at across society, that there's an interesting conversation when she can't use her thumbprint to pay for things or her phone, that she has to go get an old credit card, and they talk about how retro and dope that is. But I really like this book, that I think Aftershock's got a good title in Lonely Receiver, and I can't wait until next month to see number 3. So what do you think? Are there any books that I missed out on? Are there any of these books that you read that you didn't like, that you think they should not have been on my list? Let me know down in the comments below. Remember, subscribe, tell a friend, check out the 500 subscriber giveaway, which should be linked in the description, and at some point you'll probably see it pop up in the thingies at the top. But as always, thanks for stopping by, and have a good one.